What's up? It is eSports Live on a Monday after a long weekend. No Titans this weekend, but a lot of things to continue to react to across the NFL. College football had a weird day. I'll talk about a little update on that here later on in this Monday show. But the Todd Downing DUI arrest, even though it's been a couple days since you might have thought about it because it happened early Friday morning after the Titans beat the Packers to get to 7-3, the Titans now have a big decision to make because the NFL hasn't really done anything. And so we'll talk about what might happen going forward this week. It's a holiday week with Thanksgiving, so a short week here, but the Titans will be getting ready for that revenge potential game, hosting the Cincinnati Bengals at Nissan Stadium in 6 days from now. And will Todd Downing be calling plays at Nissan Stadium? That's a decision that we'll work through for the Titans this morning. So Zach, welcome in. Hope you had a great weekend. After we talk and update some situations from Todd Downing's arrest, there's also a report coming from WSMV over the weekend that we'll get to as well. But we'll talk about the playoffs. And is it too early or okay for Titans fans to start eyeing potential playoff matchups as the division might as well be in hand? And the NFL is, especially in the AFC, has a lot of wacky things going on with teams fighting for those wild card spots. And then we will always end our Monday show with an Ask Me Anything. This one's based off of a conversation we had late last week. So Zach, welcome in. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, ready to get started on this Monday. Early morning soccer. I don't know if you knew that. England up big at halftime. So here's a question. Iran or Iran? Iran?
I'd probably go with Iran.
Iran or Iran?
I would probably say Iran. I don't know. I just said both, so I don't know.
Right? England up 3-0. Big game today, United States.
3-0 or 3-0?
3-0. 3-0. But that shows you how much soccer I watch. So 3-0. 3-0 against Iran right there. But England looking very good. Huge if the United States gets out of that first round. Look, I like the World Cup. I enjoy the World Cup. I'm not a massive soccer fan, but on the biggest stage where the stakes are high, even though the corruption of where it is held is ridiculous. Entertaining as that thing is underway. So we'll trickle in that throughout the course of the World Cup. We are broadcasting live on 3 different platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We got you covered there. We'll tweet out segment by segment our YouTube links, and we are on the road to 10K. We are less than 1,000 subscribers away from 10,000, and we want you guys to hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about it and share. If you got to distribute it, whether you like this show, if you've already subscribed, that helps the algorithm. We think, however, algorithms are however they're constructed. I don't know. I don't know what the algorithm is.
Algorithmic?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Algorithmic?
Algorithmic.
I don't know. Iran algorithmic. That's what we're going with today on this Monday. And also on Facebook, bottom left corner of your screen, share now to public. Sharing is caring and caring is sharing on this show. More people are going to be piling in over the next 10 to 15 minutes. As you guys do, share the show around. We need to pop up your Facebook friends news feed. So let's get this party started on a Monday, kind of following up what we talked about on Friday.
Now we're getting some, is it Iran? There's no way.
Iran? It could be Iran.
Oh, wow. We're getting a lot.
Iran.
Anyway, this Monday is off to a really weird start.
Iran, or Iran. I actually think it is correct. I think Sam's right. I think it, and yeah, McLean, to start out, you're correct.
Iran.
I think we did it.
There we go. That's your World Cup update. Yep. All right, let's get it going officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media as we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live every weekday at 8 Central Time. Got to make sure you follow us all over social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of it. But we got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out you guys, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process by going to see them in Lebanon or at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plan. That's better coverage, rates, and service. Learn more about a health plan for you. FBHP.com/ATOZ. And Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, the official injury lawyers of the Titans. If you get injured in a car wreck, call them for a free case consultation. 800-800-4600. So, Zach, crazy weekend in the NFL. A lot of upsets in the NFL. A lot of upsets in college football. And we'll talk about Tennessee situation with the Bone and Joint Institute. I will have a Doc Talk segment with Hendon Hooker tearing his ACL. We'll talk about that at 12:30 Central Time here on these same channels. But there is updates to be made with Todd Downing's DUI arrest. If we remember, Todd Downing Friday morning going down I-65 South, got pulled over by Tennessee Highway Patrol, arrested for DUI and speeding after the Titans got back and flew back from Green Bay after the 27-17 win over the Green Bay Packers. And here's an update. WSMV did have some extra details. We see there the screenshot of the mugshots that we talked about a lot Friday morning, but WSMV 4 here in Nashville did add to it and got an affidavit from the arrest. Said that Downing admitted to drinking before driving and was seen driving at speeds close to 100 miles per hour before then complaining of death threats during the traffic stop that landed him arrested Friday morning. Downing was pulled over around 2:30 a.m. on Cool Springs Boulevard after being followed by a Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper who spotted him speeding, estimated going about 95 to 100 per hour, but officially paced at 50 once he got off the interstate in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. The trooper said during traffic stop, he immediately smelled alcohol coming from Downing, who had red eyes and slow, slurred speech. According to the affidavit, Downing admitted to the trooper he had a beer before driving. That, according to WSMV and the Tennessee Highway Patrol. So that's the update from there. Zach, how are you feeling about after the weekend of what it was, of where the Titans are with Todd Downing?
Well, now we're starting to figure out a little bit more of the story. And that's what, I doubled down on Friday saying due process. We need to understand exactly what went down. The speed matters. 100 miles an hour, if that at all, if you're going 100 miles an hour at that time after drinking, that is reckless. That, I think, is the definition of reckless. Now, it did say that they only clocked him at 50 over 40, still speeding, still worth a ticket by the letter of the law. But now the death threats, I think that raises the question of how did that conversation go down after he was pulled over? Officers, look, that's why you have video. That's why there's body cams. That's why there's all of that. And hopefully we'll find out more. But death threats is a serious accusation at any point in time regarding anything. It doesn't matter if it's 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. It doesn't matter if you're in a Kmart or a Target on the side of the road. If you're talking about death threats, this is on a whole new level. And I think that opened my eyes to this story of, wow, there's a lot more detail that we did not know Friday, and that I assume eventually we will find out.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for the record, A to Z Sports does have a records request in because, as Zach mentioned, the body cam, the BAC, we still don't know those two things about this. And I'm curious about the death threats comment as well. Is this a trying to get out of a situation from Todd Downing, or was Todd Downing saying that his family said that they were receiving death threats at some point throughout that night, and he was trying to get home fast for that? I don't know. Is it anything in between that? Yes. And so a body cam situation might be able to tell us what happened in the context of the death threats conversation that Todd Downing claimed during the pullover there at the traffic stop. So again, that's the updated information. We also had Mike Vrabel addressing Titans media on Friday, and he didn't have much to say, but here was Mike Vrabel's opening statement about the Todd Downing DUI arrest from Friday.
First off, I would just like to address the incident that occurred earlier this morning with Todd Downing. I've spoken to Todd. I've spoken to Miss Amy. John and I have been in communication with her, with the league. The league has policies with regards to these incidents, and we'll make sure that the league has all the information that they need. I also know that you have many specific questions regarding the incident, but out of respect to the legal process, the process that the league has, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to answer many of those specific questions. I will say, however, that we all have a great responsibility as members of this community, as coaches and players of this organization, as fathers and husbands and teammates to make great decisions. And we understand that. And so I'll do my best to answer the questions that you have, but also out of respect to the situation, there's going to be some things that I'm not going to be able to talk about.
And Mike Vrabel subsequently was really not able to answer any question that the media had. And Chris Harris of WSMV followed up with some good questions about do the Titans have alcohol in the plane? And Vrabel basically gave I can't comment on that, but because of all how legal things and investigations work. So the NFL, working with the NFL on this, the NFL quickly Friday put out a statement basically saying that there's strict policy against alcohol on team planes and buses, even though we have seen so many times over the last couple of years, including last Monday night when Taylor Heineke was drinking Busch Light on the Washington plane, that players, coaches, a lot of people do consume alcohol on team flights coming home from road games. And we all know that, but it seems like the Titans are the ones here that could be getting the league to react to it. But there's a lot more that goes into this. What was your reaction from Vrabel's comments there?
Well, and on that, the Commanders had internal discipline that the NFL came out and said that was adequate for them. So they confirmed that. Look, it does.
Would that have happened without Todd Downing's DUI? The internal discipline from Washington?
Probably not.
No, we all know that. Rhetorical question.
Right. But, it is a problem because it's within your company, right? You're drinking, on a company plane. And then after that, you get into your vehicle and you get into a situation, right? I think that's the whole point is the situation. We don't know truly what it became. If we find out that he did think something was going on with his family and he was speeding home, was that justified? I don't know. If death threats were involved, and I think the chat was bringing up this because I do think this needs to be said, is, you're trying to connect the dots of what death threats are. And this is really on the heels of his best game of the season, right? Mm-hmm. And Todd Downing, it is noted. He has been number one Titan that has been criticized, right? It hadn't been Tannehill, it hadn't been Derrick Henry, it hadn't been the defense, it hadn't even been Mike Vrabel or John Robinson or Amy Adams Strunk. Culprit number one has been Todd Downing. The criticism, fire Todd Downing. I think that that was even chanted. It was reported at the Broncos game at some point when they couldn't start getting. I mean, that we know that, and so now. It doesn't really make sense after the Titans offense, and this is just what we saw. You fly back home, you have to drive to your home, right? I mean, the plane doesn't land in your driveway. What was that and why? And this is where Mike Vrabel came in. We all make decisions. Why did Todd Downing make that decision? Yeah. Was it a mistake? Was there a reason why he was going 100 miles an hour at 3 a.m. going 100 miles an hour down 65? That doesn't make much sense sober. That I think is the question that I'm starting to raise is we got to get a little bit more detail into what this is. And that's why you investigate. And I think that's what the Titans are doing currently with this situation. And they had a little bit more time because this happened on Friday morning. But they got a football game to play,
Sure.
and a big one at that. Now we're talking football. They don't have the tiebreak over the Bills. They don't have the tiebreak over the Chiefs. They don't play the Miami Dolphins, right? They don't play the Jets. The Cincinnati Bengals are looming, and now you're talking about home field advantage. You're talking about structure off of, again, the heels of the best performance by your offense under Todd Downing Thursday night.
No doubt, no doubt. So on the death threat things, I've seen so many mean-spirited, ugly, nasty things said about Todd Downing on social media for the last 18 months. Is he receiving death threats? Is his family receiving death threats? I have no idea. But only what you said, Zach, about like only a body cam type video with audio can make us understand that situation of what that's
especially in today's age, right?
Yes.
Ray Rice changed that for everybody, right? Actually seeing an incident is what the public needs. It is just how we make better decisions, and not necessarily better decisions, better opinions if you can actually see something and understand the situation. And we just don't have, we have more information. We just don't have enough.
Yeah. And again, somebody says, Mason says, I'm just guessing he brought up the death threats when the cops asked why he was driving so fast. And again, we don't know. It could be anything in between. We have no idea.
Now you're assuming, right? And Mason, that's the whole point of what we're trying to avoid is the assumption of what is going on. We found out a little bit more information, but far from the full story.
Absolutely. So that's why A to Z Sports does have records requests in for body cam footage and audio, and also for the BAC level for Todd Downing as well. But let's ask this question, Zach, and move the conversation forward to the field, because you mentioned it. Huge game with the Bengals traveling to Nashville this upcoming Sunday after Thanksgiving. Will Todd Downing coach for the Titans Sunday against the Bengals? Will Todd Downing be on the sideline calling plays in this game coming up? We'll get your opinions, your predictions coming up here. But first, let me tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. And set your calendars, Vol fans, because two things happening today with the Bone and Joint Institute. One, at 12:30 Central Time, I'll be talking right here with Dr. Scott Arthur, who is a knee surgeon, orthopedic surgeon there at the Bone and Joint Institute, about Hendon Hooker's ACL tear that happened in South Carolina Saturday night. Unfortunate, devastating. All of those words are applicable there, but we'll find out more information about the sand on the field, everything there with Dr. Scott Arthur at 12:30 Central Time right here on these same channels. And also, I will be finding a winner for the Tennessee Vandy tickets coming up on Saturday tonight. So we'll announce those Tuesday as well. So check that out, boneandjointtn.org.
That may be a pretty good game. Vandy's streaking.
I'll be there freezing my you-know-what's off.
I mean, that
lots on the
whole season changed.
Oh my God.
Again,
unfortunately. I don't want to get into it, because
but it also changed for Vandy,
Yes.
So we'll find. That's a meeting on West End. They'll battle it out. Well, you can battle it out on BetMGM. I hit I hit a parlay last night thanks to the Chargers, and I actually teased it up to +7. It was the last leg of my parlay to win a couple $100. And man, did I have a lot of fun last night watching that Chargers game. And once the Chargers scored, I kind of took a deep breath. It ended up being a very good game, but I couldn't have had that fun without BetMGM. You can have that entertainment and that cashola with promo code ATOZ Sports. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. And also, I'll tell you a little bit later about World Cup. They got a World Cup deal going on, which is awesome for already existing users. So that's BetMGM. Download the app today.
All right. The question we're asking here is, will Todd Downing coach for the Titans Sunday against the Bengals? I'm trying to scroll back up to the top of our comments. We're getting a lot of comments here. Luman says yes, he will. Let's see. Eric Alonso says yes. Guy says yes. Steven says no. Andre says no. Miko says it's more to the story and he can't hide behind Coach Vrabel after this. And we'll have to find out more about that. AB in Texas says yes. Van says no. Steven says yes, because Mike Vrabel is a softie. Jason says no.
I don't think wait, let's time out real quick.
Yeah,
I've never read anything of that nature in the sense of Mike Vrabel and softie.
Yeah.
That's like you say it's Zach Bingham and quiet. Like you just don't do it.
Yes. Zach doesn't yell. What? Let's see. Jason says no way as he coaches. Desi Nate says no. Different Eric says no. Jamel says nope. Tim will be the OC, as in Tim Kelly. Ian, our guy back in the pond, says Tim Kelly. Xavier says after that, no way in hell. Wilbur says it's Tim Kelly's season. Jay says a no. Lane's a yes. Nate says no, getting out of here. I don't know. This is not necessarily a fireable offense for Todd Downing, but we'll talk more about this. Borkington says 0% chance. Let's see. Chris Frazier saying no. Devin says no way he stands on the sideline. What kind of message does that send to players? That's an interesting point there, Devin. So we'll stop there. And the Titans, the title of this show, Zach, is the Titans have a crucial decision to make with Todd Downing's DUI arrest. And I think it kind of goes to what Devin just said.
Yeah, it does. And I think that this is a very good question because it's kind of predicting the decision-making of a franchise. And if they're saying that it's unacceptable, but then letting Todd Downing stand on the sidelines, I mean, it's a great comment. I mean, honestly, Devin, you're getting the love of the show because I do think that kind of sparks this entire conversation. You know, they have to do their investigation. I think that's fair, but they've got a high noon kickoff breathing down on them, and it's big. You know, the Cincinnati Bengals are no slouch. They just scored a lot of points against the Steelers, and we all know Joe Burrow, and then the redemption factor, as you kind of mentioned at the beginning of the show, with Ryan Tannehill and you know, at home, all of these different scenarios. Also, probably performing the best offensive performance, and it's definitely dating back to last year, but is this the spark? And that was a Todd Downing called game. We complimented how well Todd Downing actually called those plays on Thursday night. I mean, he put the team in position, and he's gotten better. So here's where I'm at. And this is tough.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not should, it's will.
Yeah. God. All right. So let me.
Do you have your answer?
Well, I do want to get this. You know, Noah gave Sam a significant lunch, and Noah added to it. So Noah, the 1999 says, I don't think he'll be back Sunday. Too much negativity and everything uncovered seems to make it worse. I'm nervous for Sunday because I'm unsure if Todd is actually good and players are bad. Sunday could show what's what. And then Noah then adds also Sam's lunch money. Let's get this guy some Jay Alexander's. So I have something, Zach, that I want to read, but I don't want it to necessarily influence your thought here on this question. Is that fair? I want to know your
but I don't know my answer.
No, I know.
I don't know.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, like, I have something, but I don't want this to like influence you one way or the other.
Yeah. Okay. So before you say that, I think my struggle is the Titans haven't shown us any cards that they're going to lean one way or another. Maybe I could look into the fact that they have not suspended him indefinitely after that. Maybe that is leaning more towards a yes, he will call plays. But it's, you know, is he at work this morning?
Yeah, that's the hard thing is we don't know. And, you know, with it being Thanksgiving, I don't know what the Titans work week looks like from a media availability standpoint. Like, I know Titans coaches are there regardless.
I can tell you it works. The coordinators are going to be unavailable this week due to Thanksgiving.
Well, no, but it's because coordinators talk on Thursdays. And so that's, but the Titans always have availability on Thanksgiving every year, whether, you know, they play Sunday or not. They have that there. And I also want to say this, Mike Vrabel's press conference Friday was done via Zoom only. And I do want to throw this out there because there was some speculating that Mike Vrabel's presser was via Zoom because of Todd Downing. Buck told me that Thursday night after Vrabel talked in Green Bay, it was said that his press conference Friday would be Zoom only hours before the Todd Downing DUI arrest happened. So I don't know how that's going to be handled, but we'll figure it out. So Zach, you still don't know where you're going to go with this answer? This might be the most indecisive I've seen you on one of our questions.
Yeah, because I just don't know how the Titans are thinking.
I think he's at work today.
I'll answer it. But it's wild that he would be on the sideline. That's why Devin got the love of the show, is because to think that is acceptable, which regardless of the situation, there's essentially zero punishment.
Yeah, and remember, Todd Downing's not a booth guy. He's a sideline.
No, yeah, he's a sideline guy.
That puts him front and center, CBS cameras all over him. There's a lot to go into this.
So, and look, Mikey brings up, it's a bad look on the franchise. The owner is asking the local lawmakers for a lot of money. It's true. And now this looks like the team's breaking the rules, letting people drink on team planes, suspended him like a player would get him 3 games. So Mikey, let's bring up this. What if this DUI was a player? I don't want to give an example of a player because it's unfair to his reputation. Yeah. But what if it was a player that got a DUI in the same circumstance? What would happen to him, Austin? I'm trying to lead myself to any sort of water.
And Titanium Titan says, get Sam to go around and investigate. Sam, thanks to Noah's lunch money, Sam's already been putting in records requests. So we hope we can get something back for that records request too. I wanted to mention that a couple times, but I also am reading from one of Sam Phelan's articles on A2ZSports.com from Friday. The NFL does have a DUI policy, and DUI offenders can be suspended for as many as 3 games for a first-time offense, as many as 3 games. And that's a league policy. But Zach, you kind of mentioned in our pre-show conversations, the league is not going to do anything until the investigation is complete. The ball is in the Titans' court right now because the investigation is still ongoing. So, and the clock is, and the week is not stopping, right? Like, life moves on. Investigations happen. There's a game on Sunday. There's meetings today. There's practices on Wednesday. The life goes on in the NFL, and the Titans have to figure out what to do. And so Nick says no suspension yet until he's guilty. Zach, look, it's not an apples to apples comparison, but I do think it is a fair example to use for a legal situation that's ongoing. And I'm going to use that to answer the question. Is that fair to you?
Yeah.
Okay, but I want you to tell me about Farm Bureau health plans first.
Yeah, FBHP.com is where you need to go to change your health plan. That is what I did at the beginning of the year. That's what you need to do. 200 plus locations across the state of Tennessee. Better coverage, better rates, better service. I got all 3. So can you. You take a quick health assessment, and they give you a quote. That quote includes great coverage. And for me, I save 20% per month on my health plan because of that. If you're in the state of Tennessee, they got you hooked up. Visit fbhp.com/ATOZ. They got you. And that's right there at Farm Bureau Health Plans of Tennessee.
Also, download the BetMGM app, and you can win big with code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with a risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000. You got one more game tonight in week 11 before we move forward to week 12 in the NFL. But download the app, use code ATOZ Sports. You get a risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000. So Zach, I got something I want to kind of compare this to. I think it's a fair way to handle an ongoing investigation with a legal situation. So Todd Downing investigation still going on. The Titans play the Bengals on Sunday. I think it is the right move for the Titans to not allow Todd Downing to coach Sunday against the Bengals. So back in October, Tennessee Vols safety Jalen McCullough was arrested for felony assault after an incident at his apartment near campus. He did not play until that legal situation played out. He was just suspended indefinitely. There were no charges on him. He just did not play yet, and they let it play itself out. He went through the campus student situation there with their legal system. They let the legal system with the county play out and the arresting officers. They just let Jalen McCullough sit on the sideline and not do anything, but he was still around the facility. He was still working out. He was still in meetings, but he was not playing in the games. I think the correct way for the Titans to handle this is not allow Todd Downing to coach in the game on Sunday or any game moving forward until the investigation is over. That's the right thing for the Titans to do. And the NFL's policy is if you're convicted of the DUI, you can be suspended for as many as 3 games. Does that start that clock Sunday against the Bengals? Right? Because what you don't want to happen is for Todd Downing to coach Sunday, and then now he's suspended for 3 more games. Now you just don't know what is actually going to happen. So I say don't let him coach Sunday against the Bengals, and maybe, just maybe, that starts the clock for a potential suspension if it comes down to that. I think that's the most fair way to handle this situation.
So you're kind of saying self-impose.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you have to do. I think it's, it sucks because...
But it's not college football, right? Like
no.
Self-impose.
Washington said they handled their drinking on the plane with Busch Light internally. Like they weren't going to do anything if this Downing situation didn't happen. But Jalen McCullough, whether it was right for him to hit the guy that walked into his apartment or not, whether it was he was going to get charged with that crime or not, it still sucked for him to not have to play, even if he's innocent. But it was the right way to handle the situation legally. This is the right way to handle the situation legally, is to not put Todd Downing on the sideline to coach against the Bengals on Sunday. This is a big game. I don't know I don't know what TV crew is on it. I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule yet. I know there's a bunch of games on Thursday, so it's a lighter Sunday in the NFL. And so I don't know if is it going to be Tony and Jim on there with CBS cameras where they got the max amount of cameras for a broadcast, where one of them would be on Todd Downing at all times. I mean, you don't want this to be a story Sunday from noon to 3 p.m. And so the way for that to happen is to not put him out there.
I definitely think it's Monday, right? So they have until Sunday. So they're buying time, as much time as they possibly can. I do think that he's going to coach. I'm going to go the opposite way. I think that you've stated a fair case, and I'm not doing this just to disagree with you. I just think that they are going to... Todd Downing has a side of what happened, right? And you don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But Todd Downing has stated, again, there's no justification for drinking and driving, regardless.
That's the side, that's the...
But the death threat thing, something that is very unique and peculiar. That strikes the red flag for me, is because saying somebody has threatened your life, that is not something that you should take lightly, or a company should take lightly. I mean, Austin, if I tell you that somebody has threatened my life, like that, again, that's what the report says, and we're just trying to read in between the lines.
And yeah.
But in any way, now you're kind of, how do you support your employee if that's the case? Again, there still should be punishment based on the action, because if he was drinking, but also that's in the eyes of the law, that's the whole, and I'm sure we got plenty of lawyers in the chat, right? A lawyer's job is to prove, if a breathalyzer was not taken, that the field sobriety test was based on the opinion of the officer, and that's one man's opinion.
And he did fail the field sobriety test. We do know that. Again, we do not know what Downing's BAC was, and we don't have any video or audio from the pullover, which is why A to Z Sports has sent in the records request. That's such a big deal here. The records request and the BAC and the body cam footage is so big, and the dashboard footage from the potential vehicle too, to get Downing's field sobriety test, to pick up any potential audio from Downing talking about the death threats. And again, I've never received a death threat in my entire life. I have no idea how I would react if somebody threatened me or my family. No clue. But again, a DUI is 1000% avoidable at all times. We talked about that on Friday, especially with the Titans having the deal with Lyft, where anybody who is employed by the organization gets a free Lyft ride, no matter the cost, no matter the time of the day, no matter anything, that they get that to them, for them. And if Todd Downing was receiving death threats, I mean, I think if you are under that mindset of receiving a death threat, you're probably not thinking clearly anyway, which is also not a good mindset to be in while you're operating a vehicle trying to drive home. And he was pulled over on Cool Springs Boulevard. So from the airport, that's a pretty significant, that's probably 25, 30-minute drive there. Now, he was going a lot faster than that, so he's probably making it in 15. But that's a significant drive for him to be stewing over a potential death threat. And so, I want to see the body cam thing. But again, I still feel the right situation and the most fair way to handle this, you cannot let him coach on the sideline on Sunday. I also think you can't hide him in the box on Sunday either, because he is a sideline play calling coach. He's either on the sideline or he's not in the stadium. Like you can't, if he was in the booth, maybe you can get away with the extra tint on the glass window or something like that to hide him, but you cannot hide him in the booth. He can't be in that stadium.
But also, and Sheila brings up this, the Titans have to be careful for not getting, I wouldn't go to the same of sued by Downing because of assumed innocent until proven guilty, right? So that's why I went the other direction that he will, is because Todd Downing has a side. And by the letter of the law, we need to investigate. And if they just punish him, again, that's kind of why the suspend indefinitely until we find further facts is the easiest way to approach any situation, because it is not sitting here saying that Todd Downing is guilty, but it also is taking action. And then you have that period of time between Friday and Sunday at noon or prior to that to make a decision based on your findings. And if you don't have enough evidence in that 7 to 8 days, then he continues to be suspended indefinitely because the investigation is ongoing. So they didn't do that. They didn't take the same approach that maybe I would have handled it. But that's probably why I think that he will coach, is because Todd Downing has a side.
And so Devin did bring up that, Todd Downing signed a contract. So I don't know what legal action he could take towards the Titans. I think I would think.
Yeah, but people under contract.
No, I know. I would think in the Titans contracts with their coaches and players that there's something in there that if there is a legal situation, the Titans can handle it with some type of indefinite suspension until investigation is complete. I would, this is not just like, a podunk, family owned company that has, simple contracts. This is a $1 billion industry in a franchise that has ridiculously long contracts, I'm sure. So, I don't think you can put him out. I think you let him coach throughout the week. And I think with Thanksgiving's wrinkle in here of limited media availability potentially on Thanksgiving when coordinators typically talk, and with Todd Downing under investigation, he's also got the ability to say, look, I can't answer any questions about the ongoing investigation. And you have that ability to slow things down. I say let him do his job during the week, but you cannot put him out there when cameras for CBS are all over it. And hell, you can even not put him out there when the media is able to be there for the first 15, 20 minutes of practice. You can even have Todd Downing walk out late after the media goes inside. I mean, there's so many different ways that Titans can protect Todd Downing and themselves this week before Sunday to, again, protect the Titans organization, but also to handle it however they want to handle it. And again, this is ideas that I'm coming up with for the Titans if I was in the Titan situation.
When do you think in your scenario, so I'm saying that he's going to coach Sunday, you're saying he's not. When are they going to announce that then, in your opinion? Or when should they, right?
I mean, they're probably not going to until, I don't expect
until Sunday.
Well, I mean, when is the investigation over? That's the caveat that we don't know. Like, they still have 5 full days to investigate this. So, I don't know. I mean, I would guess either if there's no investigation complete, then we're not going to hear about it until Sunday, or until somebody breaks the news, maybe Saturday afternoon when NFL news comes out. But and so real quick, Nate, come on, man. I like you a lot, but Austin, honestly, are you secretly happy about this? Hell no. No, I'm not happy about this. I can think Todd Downing's a bad offensive coordinator and not good for the Titans long term, and think that he's lost the Titans a couple of games this year and last year, but absolutely not am I happy about this. This is a crappy situation for everybody involved. I feel bad for Todd Downing. I think he's a good guy. I've said that several times. He seems like a good guy. He's taken ownership of bad play calls this season and last season at times and not run from that at all. I'm still criticizing his ability as a play caller, but man, that sucks to have what is your probably best play calling game on prime time in a big moment. And then for this to happen, it's avoidable, but I still feel for the guy. He's a human. He makes mistakes. It sucks. And so I'm not happy about this. Get out of here with that. That's terrible. If I could give you the opposite of the love of the show, I would do it, but they don't have an option for that on Facebook.
No,
it's just a ridiculous comment. I hate that people put things like that out there that somebody could potentially see. Austin's happy about Todd Downing being arrested for DUI. No, get the hell out of here with that. That's so stupid. That's reckless for you to even comment that. And I had to bring it up. So I didn't ignore it. If I ignored it, then maybe somebody reads into this thing and Austin's happy about Todd Downing getting a DUI. Heck no, I'm not happy about that. It's ridiculous.
Well, look, Titans have a situation on their hands. This is going to be ongoing, and we're just going to have to figure it out day by day, the information. But there's a lot of legs to this story. This is not just a simple mistake, apology, and move on. The death threats, the 100 miles per hour, the linking of when he was drinking on the plane, which is an NFL property or the Titans property to drive, that's a whole nother circumstance. And then the decision on sidelines on Sunday, because now the broadcast has a responsibility to bring it up.
Yes, because now this is journalism. This is journalism, right?
Yeah.
Now the broadcast has to put their journalistic hat on and go do some reporting themselves. And so here's something else that I did, John did say, Austin, there is an angry reaction motion on Facebook. So maybe I could pull that up, but for Nate's comment, but I did think of this, and it's just ironic. I don't know if it means more or if it's just ironic or in a consequence or, whatever it might be. But the Titans had a situation happen where the NFL reacted with a league policy saying that alcohol is not allowed on planes or team buses, when we all know that's been happening throughout the entire league for decades. But the Titans have something that makes the NFL act. And I immediately thought about 2020, COVID year. The Titans were on the forefront of a national story during the COVID outbreak that made the Titans look bad, where the NFL had to react. And so many national talking heads and were throwing flames at the Titans for disregard. It was so ridiculous,
especially of what we know now.
Yeah, for disregarding the COVID protocols and everything there. But I did think it was ironic that in the last 2 calendar years, last 24 months, the Titans have been a face of an NFL reaction based off of something that everybody was doing, right? Like during the COVID situation, all 32 teams were having situations with masks and protocols and being lax in this and that and everything, right? Everybody had that because it was impossible to keep it up. And then everybody's drinking on the plane. You got Busch Lights in a trash can with ice on a plane and Taylor Heineke is sitting there looking, like he's having a great time. But the Titans offensive coordinator gets a DUI, and now the NFL has to puff their chest out about it. Again, irony. I don't know if it means anything more or less. Just flat out irony. And
they're going to have to make a decision before Sunday. So something will be decided.
I did get an email just now from Robbie Boren of Titans Media Relations for this week's schedule. So today, Monday, off for media. Tomorrow on Tuesday, it is basically what Wednesday would be. Vrabel, an interview, Vrabel at the podium, Ryan Tannehill at the podium, and open locker room like normal Wednesdays on a Tuesday. Wednesday, interviews on the podium for coordinators and Derrick Henry on Wednesday, and offensive and defensive assistant coaches made available, and Thursday off for the media. So Todd Downing is scheduled to speak with the media Wednesday at noon.
So I'm going to now I know more information. I am going to double down on my opinion on that he will coach on Sunday. Because I think what is going to happen, Todd Downing is going to apologize for the mistake he made, but also not answer or comment on anything else regarding the situation because it is a legal matter. And it's going to be, like anything, held up in court until it is dropped or, right? I mean, you can hire a really good lawyer to get out of a DUI, Austin. And if that's the case, then he's now not guilty, so he shouldn't be punished, right? I mean, conceptually, I'm not talking about like the actual incidents, but in the history of time, people have gotten out of DUIs because they've had really good lawyers, right? That's why you can pay to play. They pay for a high, and especially for a DUI, and he's got, millions of dollars, you'd be fine for that. If it's dropped, if the charges are dropped, then he's not guilty. So that, I think, is what's going to happen. That is my full prediction. And I don't know. Look, it took me 50-something minutes to get here, but I eventually got, and I'm not indecisive. I am decisive. I think that's what's going to happen.
Dude,
but Todd Downing will continue to be the offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, I think he's going to continue.
It's the Rashad Weaver situation. They waited for months and months, right? You remember that?
Yeah, but
it's different. It's a different legal matter.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The process, the conceptual process of how they handle legal issues, that's what I needed. I needed something to look at to say, okay,
I know,
show me what you've done in the past so I could predict what you're going to do in the future.
And so, DUIs, like, again, I don't have a lot of experience with DUIs and how they end up playing out, but it feels pretty cut and dry that if he has a BAC, which you could also deny the BAC, right? He did fail the field sobriety test. Again, I don't know how it would have charges be dropped with him admitting to having a beer and all the other things. I don't know how that lines up. And again, I don't have the experience to know if, the frequency of DUI charges being dropped. I don't know that. And Dadson says, and I don't know if Dadson's percentage is correct or not, but here's his comment. 38% of DUIs are not guilty. That's even after filtering cases judges won't take on lack of merit, So I don't know what the percentages are of Todd Downing having his DUI charge dropped or not. I mean, could it be dropped to reckless driving, as Nika says? Maybe. But again, he admitted to having a beer. He failed the field sobriety test. We don't know the BAC yet. We do not have a dash or body camera footage or audio from the arresting officer. Those are all things that we want before we can really figure out what the Titans are going to do here.
Yeah, well, and they're going to have to make some decisions. That schedule, I definitely think, is eye-opening.
Yeah, and again, like the Titans media schedule, Wednesday, 12:10 to 1, interviews, podium, coordinators and Henry. That makes me think that Todd Downing is going to talk on Wednesday, but it doesn't spell it out exactly. But coordinators are Todd Downing, Shane Bowen, and Craig Aukerman, and they've been talking once a week for the entire season.
Yeah, well, Mike Vrabel will speak. I don't know what he's actually going to say, but it'll probably be a lot of the similar things he said Friday. But there's legs to this story. And now it's in the legal matter, which is public, right? It's public record.
Yeah. All right, let's touch quickly here on the playoff situation. Is it too early or okay for Titans fans to start paying attention to Titans' potential playoff matchups? Too early or okay to start paying attention to these matchups? But first, let me tell you guys about Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you should call Hughes and Coleman for a free case consultation. Their number is 800-800-4600. Super easy to get a hold of them, and also have them use their resources for you to recover every dollar you deserve when you've been injured in a car wreck. That's Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers for a free case consultation. Call them at 800-800-4600, principal office in Nashville, Tennessee.
It is the Sports Were powered by BetMGM. Download the app today. They're the king of sports books. ATOZSPORTS, all one word. They're hooking you up with a risk-free bet up to $1,000 for new users. Download the app in your Apple and Android app store.
All right, so is it too early or okay to start paying attention to potential Titans playoff matchups? So I find this intriguing, and Zach, I'll send you the comment section here in a second to see what people are saying. But the Titans are currently the 3 seed in the AFC, behind the Chiefs, who have the tiebreaker over the Titans, also behind the Dolphins, who have the tiebreaker over the Titans based off of strength of victory. And then the Titans are ahead of the Baltimore Ravens based off of win percentage in AFC games. So the Titans are currently the 3, which they would then host the New England Patriots, who won in a wacko way yesterday against the New York Jets with a late punt return for a touchdown to win that game against the Jets and knocks the Jets out of the playoffs. The Bengals are currently at 7. The Bills are currently at 5. So is it too early or okay for fans to start paying attention to Titans' potential playoff matchups?
Look, I maintain this. It's November 21st. The Titans are going to make the playoffs. I mean, I think that's it. But you're going to drive yourself crazy. What are you going to do? Last week they were playing the Bills. This week they're playing the Patriots. Next week they're playing the Jets. The following week they're playing the Dolphins. Then they're playing the Chiefs. Don't do this to yourself. You're tracking. I do think there is a point in time where you do need to start paying attention. And if you're an NFL football fan, you're going to watch the games regardless. But no, don't drive yourself crazy. The matchup's going to change next week. The Patriots are very good. I mean, we saw that yesterday. It was a 3-3 game, right? Until the punt return, which I actually was watching that live, and I was like, whoa, Jets. I will say this. The second that Jets punter kicked the ball, he outkicked his coverage. And I didn't think it was going to go for a touchdown, but I was like, that is too long. That was a bad
field
kick.
Goal or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And so don't worry yourself over this stuff. It's November. The season's not over until the second week of January.
So because the Titans, again, Mike Herndon put this out, a combination of 4, Zach, a combination of 4 Titans wins and Colts losses clinched the AFC South for the Titans. That could happen pretty quick. I mean, the Colts, this was after they lost yesterday to the Eagles, obviously. But a combination of 4 Titans wins or Colts losses get the Titans to clinch the division. So I think that's the interesting caveat in this. That the Titans are going to be in the playoffs as a conference or division winner, right? So I think the one thing to start paying attention to, where I answer, it's okay at this point, is because the Bills are currently in a wild card spot in a battle with the Dolphins. That's the one thing why I think it's okay to start paying attention to the seedings. again, I'm not saying you're like, start licking your chops. Ooh, the Titans can totally beat the Patriots. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, ooh, the Bills could be a wild card team. Will the Titans hang on to a 3? Can they get a 2? Or do they get a 4? And what does that do for the Bills as a potential wild card team? I think that's the main thing that I am going to start monitoring as you get deeper into this. There's a ton of football to play. I'm not being stupid here. But again, that is interesting to me, is the AFC East is completely a toss-up, and the Bills not running away with a division. You remember 2 weeks ago, Zach, when we started going through the schedule, I was like, the Bills might be like 15-2 or 14-3. I said that on the show. Yeah, that's not happening. So again, I think that's the main thing that I say, yeah, it's okay to start looking at that.
Well, Michael Bishop, late December, right before Christmas, right when you're doing your Christmas shopping, when you're in the mall or online. Should have already started that. Well, guys usually wait.
I started that on Saturday, and I feel great about it. I got some things delivering the next couple of days.
That's a little too early.
What are we talking about? This is the week of deals, man.
Yeah, Friday.
No, Black Friday starts early. Catch up to 2022 when Black Friday starts after Halloween.
But concern yourself mid-December, not now. It's not even Thanksgiving.
All right. That's the Bills are the only thing that I've got there. All right. A to Z Sports. Zach, let's wrap up this Monday show with a Monday Ask Me Anything, but tell us about Wilson County Hyundai.
Yeah. Wilson County Hyundai, you can ask them what type of make and model you should buy, and they're going to say, well, we've got it, the perfect one for you. Maybe it's the Palisade. Maybe it's the Hyundai Sonata. Maybe it's the Hyundai Elantra or the Tucson or the Ioniq, which is battery powered. Your perfect make and model is right around the corner at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Quick trip down I-40 exit 236. That is the trust that Payne Bone and his team will give you. Is if you want the Palisade, which is a full-size SUV for you and your family, he's got that. All the perks, all the bells and whistles. You've just got to go test drive that bad boy, and they've got inventory for you guys to test drive. That's wilsoncountyhyundai.com.
Download the BetMGM app, and when you're at it, use our code ATOZ Sports. You get a risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000. It is so easy to do and so much fun. College football has been great for me this season, and I continue to win big with BetMGM. Also with pro football too. Not yesterday for me, but Zach had a good day yesterday in pro football. So download the app, use our code ATOZ Sports, risk-free bet up to $1,000 on pro football. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification, eligibility requirements. Warriors issue non-withdrawable for bets. Credit for bets expire in 7 days. For problem game support, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. Zach, Monday Ask Me Anything. What's our question today?
Well, it's actually something that came to us last week when we revealed that you do something that I don't think people do. Regular people do. And that is you don't charge your phone while you sleep.
No, I do not.
Why?
So,
and when do you charge it? Because that seems like hell. In my mind, that every time you wake up and you don't have 100, you're starting from behind.
So there's a couple reasons. AB in Texas says it's bad for your phone if you do. Overcharging is something that negatively impacts your phone battery, and I subscribe to that. 2, I have dealt with phone battery anxiety a lot. I used to be the person that would freak out if my phone battery was like under 65%. And then I had a conversation with myself and I was like, you know what? Even if it's at 50%, I still have 50%. Like I get all the time that I just used to get from 100 to 50. I get that time again. So what am I freaking out about? Like a 50% phone is totally fine. You just do what you've been doing. And plan for the next charge. So why I don't charge at night is because I also, with my early alarm that goes off pre 5 a.m., I don't want to disrupt my wife by accidentally grabbing my phone where it's at and dropping it because the charger's tight.
That's stupid.
No, because that's happened
That is
previously.
the dumbest thing that I've heard to date.
Do you know how disruptive it is if I just knock my phone that's like basically a brick?
What are you talking about? It's unplugging a phone and picking it up. It doesn't take...
Zach, I have to reach full arm extended to grab it.
That's dumb there. That's just stupid.
I've dropped it
plugging
before.
So that there's no justification. The battery thing, I honestly, your phones today, you're going to be fine. Yeah. But to not, because you don't want to unplug it.
No, because it's easier to drop it if it's connected to something that's pulled tight.
You're getting drug in the comments.
Okay, whatever. You guys
Andre, bro, what?
And Justin, no, my wife did not have anything to do with this, so shut up about that. So again,
look, don't get defensive. You don't have to read the comments. Don't get defensive, but don't say something like that because that's ridiculous.
I've done that before where I've dropped my phone because it was plugged into a charger and the charger kept it from dropping. So, all right, I also don't do it. The overcharging is the main thing, and plus, I wake up early and I've got like 2 hours of work by myself in the morning, so I just charge it while I'm working from 5 to 6:30.
Let's go power to the people. Do you charge your phone at night? Yes or no? Let's just see what the majority say. Maybe there are more people like I wouldn't think that, but maybe there are more people that have your train of thought of, the battery and longevity and stuff. I don't know. Look, Steven comes in there with no. I do think the majority are going to get, John says it's considered a fire hazard. Apple stock would be destroyed if it was a fire hazard.
No.
So let's take that out here. Kyle says yes. CJ says yes. Chris does. Kenneth does. Billy Jones does not. So he's with you. Jay does not. There's a lot of yeses. So I'm kind of reading over those. Bork is no. So that's 3. Charge you before bed for Devin, but you don't always get that luxury. Duran is 4. Orlando, no, only in the morning because I watch the show. So he charges while he watches, which we appreciate that. And I'm with Bama Brad. Overcharging, I don't think is a thing anymore. Plus, you get new phones like every 2 years with the plan that they have, right? So like, look, I have the 14 or the newest phone. I actually think that it's not very good. I think I have a glitch. I don't know what it is.
You gotta go backwards.
But I don't think it's because I charge it at night. So look, there was probably 5 to 4% out of the chat that are like you, but I want to wake up with 100. I got to wake up with 100.
I'm fine. Like I'm currently at 51%. Like, and here's the thing too. It's like I work from home. Like I'm here all day. I have access to a charger whenever I need a charger. And so for people who go to the office or driving around for whatever your job might be, I totally get that waking up with 100% is the right thing for you. And that makes total sense to me. But I work from home. I'm here 90% of the time, and I can deal with going out to an appointment, a meeting, an errand, or whatever it might be with whatever my phone battery is, because I'm coming right back home to the 8 chargers I have strategically placed around my house, because everybody's got that too. And so I charge in the morning from like 5 a.m. to 6:30, and that usually gets me up to last me the rest of the day, and I'm all good. And if I need to go charge it again in the afternoon, I'm home. I got the ability to do that.
I don't want to look for chargers.
I don't have to look for chargers.
I don't want to think. I don't like the notion of charging while there's daylight, because that means I'm either working too much or I've had a long, long day. Right. Yeah. So like,
and Apollo says 8 chargers around the house. My God, that was an exaggeration. I think I literally have 3.
I have one. My most valuable charger is actually, it's a recliner that I bought years ago that has the charging port in it. That is clutch.
Yeah, and we also have in the living room, the main charger is the rapid charger. It takes no time at all to get that baby up.
And here's a bone to pick
30%.
with OtterBox while we're on the topic. OtterBox, case, always get a case.
Yeah, I learned
always get a case. Okay, because there's what's worse than having a low battery is having a cracked screen. Yeah. So the worst part about OtterBox is this is like the tough, durable one, right? So if you drop it, it's not going to crack. You can't do the wireless charging through this case, which you'd think that they would engineer some way of, because it's like a mag strip, right? That was their marketing ploy a couple of years ago. OtterBox needs to fix that. But so I don't wireless charge anymore. I actually do. I'm going to do any innuendos, but stick it in
the port.
In the port.
There you go. Is that better?
Yeah, that was better.
Oh, geez. Borkin, since y'all watch sports for work, can the recliner be a work expense?
It's already paid. That was years ago. So,
I mean, there's a lot of things you can figure out to be able to expense, but that's a different conversation. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Monday show. Again, remember this. Bone and Joint Institute, they've been a great sponsor on our show for multiple years. They're a great resource to all of us. Today, 12:30 Central Time here in a few hours, I will be joined by Dr. Scott Arthur, who is a orthopedic surgeon. He actually did my knee surgery 13 years ago this week, to be honest, about a Hendon Hooker's ACL tear and what happened in South Carolina on Saturday night. So that's at 12:30 Central Time on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. So we'll get you there. And also the Big Orange podcast will be live later this afternoon, reacting to that loss Saturday night as well. And Buck Rising live tonight, A to Z Sports Primetime. So make sure that you are subscribing and liking all the content on our YouTube channel. Also give us a like on Facebook as well. But subscribe to us on YouTube for all of our Titans coverage and more. And we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys here at lunchtime, but we'll see you guys tomorrow morning on a Tuesday. Appreciate it as always.